We've all seen it, right? You're buying something online, you've entered your card details on the checkout page, and you see that tempting little button that says something like, buy now, pay later. You get your product right now, but you pay for it in 4 equal payments over the next 6 weeks. Sounds fantastic, especially when you see that there's no interest, no credit check, and no fees. I'm talking companies like Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm. I used one recently for the first time, but I was wondering, is this too good to be true? What I discovered was kind of complicated. So, how does it work? These companies are a little bit vague, but ultimately they scrape information about your spending habits and use it to build up a profile of you as a consumer, as a spender. Then, without the hassle for you or them of a hard credit check, they decide whether they think you're reliably going to make your payments on time or not. They get a little fee, a little commission from the vendor that you're buying from, with the thought being that they've helped you make that purchase and give your money to that vendor. It sounds great, and it really is that simple. My purchase was immediately dispatched to me. I received it having only paid 1 of the 4 payments, and the rest of the payments have automatically come out of my account every 2 weeks. That sounds great on paper, and I will probably use one of these services again. But there are a few hidden pitfalls that you definitely want to avoid. I think it's best illustrated with a simple example. Let's say you have $40, and that's great news because you found something that you want to buy that costs exactly $40. You get to the checkout, you enter your information, and rather than have it pull from your account or charged to your card immediately, you think about using one of these buy now, pay later services. They'll take $10 from you today and take $10 every 2 weeks until the full amount is paid. Great, but once this $10 is gone, this $30 is still sitting in your account, in your budget, crying out to be spent. And it's very possible if you're not paying attention, you'll spend some of this $30 before it gets used to pay for this purchase. Maybe even in the next 2 weeks before the next payment hits. What's worse is you might use this money to pay for more buy now, pay later options online. So you have $10 going for another buy now, pay later option, $10 going for another, and $10 going for another buy now, pay later option. And before you know it, you're on the hook for spending over $100 and you don't have any left. This can cause debt to build up pretty quickly if you're not paying attention. These companies are not lying when they say that they won't charge you any interest, but they absolutely will charge you late fees if they try to pull a payment and it's not there. That can be equivalent to a really high interest payment on a credit card, so it's something that you're going to want to be aware of and stay on top of. These companies all have their own apps to help you keep track of your different purchases, but different vendors use different companies. You might have buy now, pay later options with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay, and have them all floating out there in different apps, hard for you to keep track of. There are some other disadvantages to these buy now, pay later services too. They definitely encourage impulse buying, right? If you think that you can buy something today and not pay for it for a while, you're much more likely to click buy. And also, if you are responsibly meeting all of your payments, typically this information is not reported to the different credit bureaus. So your credit score is not being rewarded for your good behavior, and that can be disappointing. The reason I likely will use these services again is that I like hanging on to my money for as long as I can. That's general good advice financially. You never know what emergency is going to pop up. And it's why banks pay you interest when you let them hold on to your money, and why they charge you interest when they give you some of their money. These services allow you the benefits of your liquid capital without having to spend it immediately. For free, there are no fees. That's a pretty good deal. You need to absolutely keep on top of your payments though. That's the one caveat. And the best way I know of to do that is to stick to a monthly budget. If that $40 that I spend is already assigned a job in my budget and I'm spending it as such, I know that I'm not supposed to touch it for anything else, and that expense will be recorded in my budget. So I get the win of using the buy now, pay later service for free, and I know I'm not falling into debt without realizing it. If you have a monthly budget going already, that is great. These buy now, pay later services can fold in there really nicely. If you don't have one, definitely start one up. If you need help with that, check out my monthly budget video. I start from scratch and talk about how to give every dollar in your paycheck a job and make sure you stick to that plan. I've also got a video talking about credit card debt and how to avoid paying interest as much as you can. So check those out. But with that, I'll say bye now and see you later. Pay later.